If you're in your 60s or older, every little thing you put on your plate matters more than you might realize. It's not just about watching your weight anymore, it's about protecting your heart. And here's something surprising. There's a group of foods that many older adults eat every single day thinking they're making a smart, healthy choice. But in reality, these foods might be quietly working against your heart. As a cardiologist, I see it all the time. Seniors come in proud of their diets, no fast food, no soda, no Frida snacks. But then we dig a little deeper and find a common thread, certain types of nuts they've been snacking on, thinking they're doing something good. In truth, some of these nuts are packed with salt, unhealthy oils, or compounds that trigger inflammation and slowly wear down the heart's resilience. That's why, in this video, I want to walk you through 7 specific nuts that could be doing more harm than good and what to eat instead. These are small, fixable habits, and by making a few changes, you can help your heart stay strong for years to come. Stick with me because the first nut on the list might surprise you. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Honey roasted peanuts. They sit quietly in a bowl on your coffee table. Golden, sweet, familiar. They've become a familiar go-to for so many older adults. Honey roasted peanuts. Easy to grab, sweet and salty, and just enough to hold you over until your next meal. They feel safe, maybe even comforting. But what if that seemingly innocent handful was quietly working against your heart every single day? As someone who spent decades in cardiac care, I've seen firsthand what long-term inflammation and plaque can do to blood vessels. Most seniors I meet are trying to eat well. They've cut back on fried foods. They're avoiding dessert. And when I ask what they snack on, they say proudly, just peanuts. But here's the truth. Those aren't just peanuts. They're coated in sugar, salt, and often processed oils that the aging heart simply can't handle like it used to. That sweet outer layer, it spikes your blood sugar. The salt, it raises your blood pressure. The oils, they feed inflammation that lingers in your arteries. For someone in their 60s or 70s, these effects build faster than you might expect. Your metabolism is slower. Your vessels are more delicate, and your body no longer bounces back the way it once did. So what feels like a smart snack, a better choice than candy or chips, is actually doing similar damage, just more quietly. Over time, those honey-roasted handfuls contribute to higher cholesterol, insulin resistance, and stiffening arteries. They may even be increasing your risk of stroke or heart attack without a single warning sign. And that's the danger. They don't look like junk food. They seem wholesome. But the reality is, honey-roasted peanuts are processed, inflammatory, and far from heart-friendly. Fortunately, the fix is simple. If you enjoy peanuts, switch to dry-roasted unsalted ones. No sugar, no added salt, just the peanut itself. It's a small change, but your heart will feel the difference day by day, bite by bite. And we're just getting started. Because up next is a nut that many seniors see as trendy and healthy, but it may be doing even more damage, especially when paired with another common mistake. Let's take a closer look. If you're still with me, comment the number 1 below so I know you're here. Now, let's move on to the next nut on the list. 2. Salted mixed nuts. They come in shiny tins and reelable bags, often labeled heart-healthy or smart snacking. Salted mixed nuts have become a staple in so many senior households. Almonds, cashews, pistachios, all familiar. All seemingly healthy tossed together in a convenient little blend that feels like a smart snack. And yet, that handful you reach for during a television show or between meals might be doing more harm than you realize. As someone who spent years caring for aging hearts, I've had countless patients tell me, but I only snack on nuts, no chips, no fried foods. And yet their blood pressure is elevated, their circulation isn't what it used to be, and their arteries are showing signs of stress. The reason: salt, not in huge quantities all at once, but in slow, repeated doses that add up quietly, steadily, and dangerously. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive to sodium. What used to pass through without much issue now sticks around longer, pulling in water and raising the pressure inside your arteries. Your heart then has to work harder just to keep things moving. Over time, this can lead to a thickening of the heart muscle, stiffening of the arteries, and a greater risk of heart failure or stroke. The problem with salted mixed nuts is they're so easy to overeat. You snack while watching a movie or talking on the phone, not even realizing how much sodium you've consumed. One handful, not so bad. But 2, 3, 4, that's often more salt than your heart needs in a whole day. And that daily habit, it begins to erode your cardiovascular health quietly, without any dramatic signs, until one day, the damage is hard to undo. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up your favorite snack entirely. The better path. Choose raw or dry roasted unsalted nuts. They still offer the fiber, healthy fats, and plant-based protein your body needs, but without the sodium overload. If you want more flavor, to try tossing them with rosemary, smoked paprika, or even a little cinnamon. You're not losing anything. You're gaining control over how your heart is treated. And while salt may be the slow attacker, the next nut on the list is even more deceptive. It hides behind a soft texture and a sweet, comforting taste. But what it's doing to your arteries is far from gentle. Let's explore that one next. 3. Chocolate-covered nuts. They feel like the perfect compromise between indulgence and health. Chocolate-covered nuts seem like a harmless treat, maybe even a smart one. After all, nuts are full of protein and fiber, and chocolate has antioxidants. Right. So, how bad can it really be? Unfortunately, for those of us over 60, this combination is more dangerous than it appears. It's one of the most misleading snacks out there, quietly working against your heart health, one bite at a time. Many seniors reach for chocolate-covered almonds or peanuts as a better sweet option, thinking they're avoiding the worst offenders. But I've seen firsthand what this little indulgence can do over time. That handful packs a serious punch loaded with added sugars, low-quality oils, and fats your aging cardiovascular system simply can't keep up with. These ingredients lead to inflammation, spikes in insulin, and blood that becomes thicker, stickier, and harder for the heart to pump. What makes chocolate-coated nuts especially tricky is their emotional appeal. They're comforting, familiar. Maybe it's something you snack on during a quiet afternoon, or a small treat you share with loved ones. But while they bring comfort on the outside, inside your body, they're setting off a chain of stress responses from taxing your pancreas to coating your arteries in saturated fat. And the danger doesn't stop there. These sweets are calorie-dense, often leading to weight gain around the midsection, specifically visceral fat, which wraps around internal organs and raises the risk of heart attack significantly in older adults. It's not just about sugar or fat, it's about what these snacks are doing to your long-term resilience, energy, and independence. Now, Does this mean chocolate is off limits? Not necessarily. If you enjoy it, go for a small piece of dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, and pair it with a few raw, unsalted nuts. That way, you're getting the antioxidant benefits without the harmful extras. But if chocolate-covered nuts are a regular part of your routine, it might be time to rethink. There's an even more misleading snack coming up next one that's marketed as an energy booster, yet packed with sugar, salt, and processed oils. And chances are, you've been eating it thinking it's heart healthy. Let's dive into that next. 4. Packaged trail mix with candies or dried fruit. It looks innocent enough, just a cheerful mix of nuts, dried fruit, and maybe a few colorful bits tossed in for fun. The bag promises energy, natural fuel, and a smart snack for people on the move. For many seniors trying to make better choices, trail mix feels like a win. But once you look past the labels and clever marketing, a different picture starts to emerge, one that isn't so heart-friendly. Most store-bought trail mixes aren't as healthy as they claim to be. They're often packed with sugar-coated raisins, candied pineapple or papaya, yogurt-dipped chunks, salted nuts, and candy pieces. Each of these items on their own can affect your blood sugar or blood pressure, but together, they become a potent mix of refined sugar, high sodium, and poor quality fats. It's a snack disguised as health food, and it's surprisingly easy to overeat. As someone who's seen the effects firsthand in lab results and heart scans, I can tell you this trail mix can quietly work against you. Seniors who think they're doing something good for their heart are often shocked to learn their triglycerides are elevated. Their blood sugar is climbing, and low-grade inflammation is quietly building in their arteries. And the dried fruit, in most commercial trail mixes, it's not naturally dried. It's soaked in syrups and preserved with added oils, turning something once nourishing into something closer to candy. When you add salted nuts and processed additives into the mix, the result is more of a sugar salt bomb than a balanced snack. The heart might not complain right away, but over time it feels the strain, especially in bodies that are aging, where metabolism slows and circulation is more delicate. But here's the good news if you enjoy trail mix. You don't have to give it up. You just need to make it yourself. Use raw nuts like almonds, walnuts, or pumpkin seeds. Add a handful of unsweetened dried cranberries or blueberries. You'll still get flavor and crunch without the sugar crash or blood pressure spike. Still, the food industry knows exactly how to lure us in. Up next, we'll look at a type of nut that hides behind exciting flavors. Bold, spicy, smoky, but causes real harm to your heart. Let's take a closer look. 5. Flavored almonds. BBQ. Ranch. Wasabi. They definitely catch your eye. BBQ. Ranch. Wasabi. Sriracha. Flavored almonds come dressed in excitement, promising bold taste and a healthier snack all in one. For seniors trying to snack smarter without giving up flavor, they feel like a win. Crunchy, satisfying, and just enough zest to make you forget you're eating something healthy. But that little kick comes with a quiet cost your heart can't afford to ignore. Here's the truth. Most of these flavor-coated almonds are hiding more than just spices. The seasonings are usually packed with excessive sodium, artificial chemicals, monosodium glutamate, MSG, sugar, and preservatives meant to extend shelf life, not your life. And while almonds on their own do offer heart-healthy fats and plant-based nutrients, once they're coated in these synthetic ingredients, they behave more like processed junk than natural fuel. This is especially concerning for older adults after 60. Your kidneys and liver don't clear out sodium and toxins the way they used to. That means each flavored handful can send a wave of stress through your arteries, increasing blood pressure, promoting inflammation, and forcing your heart to work harder than it should. And it's not just about what's in them, it's how often they're eaten. A few during a television show, a handful while on the phone, another before dinner. These snacks slip into your day without you noticing, but the damage slowly adds up. What's even more deceptive is how these products market themselves as health-conscious choices. Made with almonds becomes the selling point. But what surrounds the almond matters just as much. The flavorings are designed to make you crave more. And when you're reaching for second and third servings, you're not just feeding hunger, you're feeding inflammation. The solution isn't to give up almonds altogether. They're still one of the best nuts for heart health. When left alone, go for raw, dry, roasted, and unsalted varieties. If you like a little flavor, season them yourself with a dash of turmeric, cinnamon, or even a squeeze of lemon zest. But the next nut on our list doesn't rely on coatings or additives. It's naturally rich, creamy, and indulgent. And it's one many seniors eat in large quantities without realizing how much fat it's quietly delivering to the heart. Let's take a closer look. 6. Cashews in excess. They're creamy, rich, and deeply satisfying. Cashews have a soft richness that makes them feel more like a treat than a typical snack. They're buttery, smooth, and easy to enjoy, which is exactly why they often become part of a senior's daily routine. A small handful while making coffee, a few more after lunch, another pinch before bed. It adds up quickly. And since cashews aren't coated in sugar or dusted in salt, they feel harmless, even healthy. But the full picture is more nuanced than most people realize. And for older adults, that nuance matters. While cashews do offer some nutritional value, they also come with a hidden concern: saturated fat. Compared to other popular nuts, cashews are naturally higher in this type of fat. And while a small amount may not be harmful, it's easy to go overboard. The true serving size, just about an ounce, roughly 18 whole cashews. But who really counts? Most of us pour straight from the jar, and without realizing it, eat double or triple that amount in a sitting. This becomes a real concern as we age. Metabolism slows. Cholesterol is harder to manage, and our arteries become less flexible. The buffer we once had is much thinner now. And what makes cashews tricky is their reputation. They're not greasy, they're not sweetened, and they're not loud with flavor, so they slip past our radar. But when consumed in excess, they quietly raise LDL cholesterol, add inches to the waistline, and place more pressure on an already aging heart. In my years working with seniors, I've met many who walk daily, avoid fried foods, even watch their sugar yet still struggle with heart health. One look at their snack habits often reveals the missing piece. Cashews, while not villains, are simply too dense in calories and saturated fat to be treated like a free food. The key is mindfulness, not fear. You don't have to give up cashews, but you do need to be aware of how often and how much you're eating. Treat them like a special indulgence, not an everyday habit. Consider rotating in lighter, heart-friendlier options like walnuts or almonds. But even the best nut can become a problem depending on how it's processed. The next type we'll explore is one that often comes roasted, packaged, and cooked in oils that quietly undo all your good efforts. Let's talk about it next. 7. Any nut cooked in vegetable oil, soybean, corn, canola. You've probably walked past them dozens of times in the store bags of roasted almonds. Cashews. Peanuts and pecans, they feel familiar, even comforting. Some are marked lightly salted or boast phrases like roasted to perfection, giving the impression that they're a healthy, reliable snack. But there's something buried in the fine print of those packages, something easy to miss, but deeply important. It's not the nut itself that poses the problem, it's what they're cooked in. Most roasted nuts on grocery store shelves are prepared using refined vegetable oils like soybean, canola, or corn oil. These oils are inexpensive and widely used in mass production, but they're also incredibly high in omega-6 fatty acids. While our bodies do need some omega-6, too much, especially without enough omega-3 to balance, it can fuel low-grade, chronic inflammation. And for older adults, that quiet inflammation becomes far more dangerous. It accelerates the buildup of plaque in arteries, raises blood pressure, and increases the risk of irregular heart rhythms, all without any obvious symptoms. What makes this issue so tricky is that these oils don't look or taste like anything. You can't see them coating the nut. You won't notice a strong smell. But they're there, hidden in every handful, silently working against the very organs you're trying to protect. I've seen seniors who exercise daily, avoid sweets, eat lean meals, and still show elevated inflammation markers in their blood tests. Often, the hidden culprit is their healthy snack, those roasted nuts, quietly soaked in inflammatory oils. At this stage of life, your body deserves clarity and care, not shortcuts. Every single thing you put into your body either helps you or makes it harder for your heart to do its job. That's why it's not enough to just pick up a package labeled heart healthy or natural. You need to check the ingredients. If the label mentions roasted in vegetable oil or cottonseed oil or anything similar, put it back. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up nuts altogether. In fact, when chosen and prepared wisely, nuts can be some of the most powerful foods you can eat for heart health. Almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and pecans, when eaten raw or dry roasted, offer fiber, magnesium, healthy fats, and antioxidants that actively protect your arteries and lower inflammation. They come from nature already designed to heal and support you. If you miss the toasted flavor or a little crunch, try roasting raw nuts yourself at home. Just a low oven. No added oils. Maybe a dusting of cinnamon or rosemary. That's all it takes to turn a simple nut into something both delicious and heart-friendly. Small adjustments like this aren't about restriction. They're about reclaiming your vitality. One thoughtful choice at a time. These spices don't just add flavor. They support heart health in their own right. And always measure your portions. A small handful is truly enough. Go beyond that, especially if it becomes a daily habit and you start to shift from supporting your body to quietly overloading it. Be extra mindful when you're picking something off the shelf. If the ingredient list includes added sugars, flavorings, or oils like soybean or canola, it's best to walk away. Your heart deserves that extra moment of attention. When it comes to nuts, the simpler the better. One ingredient, just the nut, is often your safest and smartest choice. Also, think about the setting. When you snack matters just as much as what you snack on. Instead of grazing mindlessly while watching television, try enjoying nuts with a piece of fruit or a few slices of cucumber during a planned break. Giving your food your full attention can actually help your digestion, balance your blood sugar, and reduce overall stress on your heart. You have more influence over your health than you might believe. A few small, intentional changes to how you eat can turn snacks into daily acts of nourishment. And in doing so, you're not just feeding your body, you're rebuilding confidence in the way you care for it. But before we wrap up, there's something even more powerful to consider: something that starts where food leaves off. Let's explore that next. Your heart, your legacy. By the time we reach our 60s, our hearts have already carried us through decades of life, through laughter and sorrow, milestones and quiet mornings, hard days and beautiful ones. It's been there for all of it, beating without asking for recognition. All it asks now is that we begin to listen, not when it cries out, but when it whispers. At this stage of life, the small things matter more. What we eat, how we rest, the way we care for ourselves, they shape how we feel, not just today, but in the days and years to come. Our bodies don't bounce back quite like they used to. And the impact of years of sugar, salt, and hidden additives doesn't just disappear. It stays with us, slowing us down, clouding our minds, and chipping away at the vitality we've worked so hard to preserve. But there's a truth that's often overlooked. Improvement is still possible. Change still makes a difference. The heart, even now, responds to care. Blood pressure can improve. Arteries can relax. Energy can return. You can feel clearer, lighter, more capable, not because of some miracle cure, but because of small, consistent actions made with intention. When we choose simple, honest food, we aren't just changing what's on our plate, we're changing the path. We're walking. We're making a quiet statement. I still value this body. I still want to feel strong. I still want more time, good time. And by doing that, we're not only helping ourselves, we're sending a powerful message to those around us. Our children, our grandchildren, our loved ones. They see that aging isn't about giving up. It's about choosing well. It's about presence, about paying attention, about being willing to shift when it matters most. You don't need perfection. You need awareness. You don't have to give up everything you love. You just need to trade what holds you back for what lifts you up. This isn't about restriction. It's about protection. You're not losing comfort. You're gaining energy, clarity, and peace of mind. So as you move forward, remember this: the next snack, the next meal, the next step, it matters. Your heart is still listening, and the life ahead of you is still yours to shape. Let's keep building it together. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear what part you'll take with you today. Leave a comment with one if something here spoke to you. And if you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Here's to living well on your own terms.